Hi guys, now we'll take up the questions from exercise MT33, which is based on data interpretation. This is the first set. As you can see on your screen, it says study the graph carefully and answer the questions that follow. The following graphs gives the amount of rice, wheat and sugar consumed in kilograms by various restaurants over a year. Alright, so here it says A and the color description. The darkest green is rice, then middle one is wheat and the lightest one is sugar. Alright, so identify this data carefully. For example, if I say let's say A, it says various restaurants. So restaurant A, suppose we want to know about let's say rice. Rice would be somewhere around between 700 and 800, right? So that is 750. Similarly, wheat is clearly 600. Then sugar is clearly 600. So this is how you have to read this data, right? Let's say for example restaurant B, rice is 600, right? Whereas the wheat is 800. And when it comes to sugar, if you can see, just the middle one out of these, the middle one will be 500, right? So this sugar should be around 550, right? So you have to take approximation a little bit. Okay, so now that we have understood the data, now let's take up the questions now. This is the first question. It says, what is the respective ratio of the amount of rice, wheat and sugar consumed by restaurant B to the same consumed by restaurant E? Alright, so restaurant B to E and the total of all these three. So for B, if you see, it is 600 for rice, 800 for wheat, and for sugar it will be between 500 and 600, that is 550, right? So B total will be equal to 800 plus 600 plus 550. Add it carefully, it will give us 8 plus 6, 14 plus 5, 1950. Similarly, for restaurant E, it will be equal to, as you can see, rice is going to be between 600 and 700. This is 800 line, this is 600 line. The middle one will be 700 and this one will be around 650. Alright. Similarly, for wheat, it is going to be, if you see, it is 750. Right. And for sugar, it is exactly between 400 and 600. So it is 500. Right. So it is going to be 650 plus 750 plus 500. Right. Add it carefully. 6 plus 7, 13 and 1, 14 and 5, 1900. Alright. So the required ratio, that is B is to E, is equal to 1950 is to 1900. Okay. Now 0, 0 cancel. 5 cancels 195, 39 times and 190, 38 times. So the answer to this question is 39 is to 38. Okay. So if you look at the options, option D seems to be the correct one. Okay. Now let's take up the next question. The next one says rice consumed by C is approximately what percent of the rice consumed by all restaurants together. So what we want to find is our required percentage is equal to C rice divided by total rice, all restaurants together, into 100. Now what is C? C is here, and C rice will be this one, that is exactly between 400 and 600, so it is 500. And all the rice, if you take up, this will be 750. This is 800, this is 500, this would be 700 because it is exactly between 600 and 800, and here the rice would be 650, right? So C rice is 500 divided by total rice will be 750 plus 800 plus 500 plus 700 plus 650. Right, and this whole thing multiplied by 100. So this is the required situation. So if you simplify, in numerator it is 500, denominator add carefully. Now add the denominator carefully. It is 700 plus 800, 1500 plus 5, 20 plus 7, 27 plus 6, 33, and this 50 and 51, so 34. So 3400 into 100. Alright, so 0, 0, 0 and 0 are cancelled. It is 500 by 34. If you simplify it, it will come out to be 1 by 17. If you have done percentages, 1 by 17 is 5.88%. And we usually take it as 6%. Okay, approximately 6%. So 1 by 34 is approximately going to be around 3%. Okay, so 5 by 34 is going to be around 15%. Okay, around 15%. So if you look at the options, the closest option that you can see here, it is 16%, and that is the answer. Alright, because anyways you have to find the approximate value. So this is 16%. Okay. Now let's go to the next question. Now the third question, it says what is the difference between the average amount of wheat and the average amount of sugar consumed by all the restaurants together. So one way is you find the average of wheat and then you also find the average of sugar, and you simply subtract, right? This is going to be the answer. The other way is find the average of differences. Right? Now, how do we do that? Let's follow the second method. Look at the differences first of all, and we have to find the difference of wheat and sugar. In restaurant A, wheat is 600, sugar is also 600, so the difference is 0 plus and we have to take wheat minus sugar. Just remember that. Now from here, from restaurant B, wheat is 800, right? And sugar is 400, 500, 550. Okay, so the difference is straight away 250. This was 800, right? So 250. Then in case of C, you see carefully, it is clearly the difference is around 200, right? This is wheat. Now wheat is 550, and here sugar is 350. So 550 minus 350, that is 200, right? So this was A, this was B, this was C, and we are taking only the differences. Okay. Then for D, what is the difference? This is the difference, and clearly you can see the total is 100, so this difference will be 100. Total is 200, so this difference is 100, right? So wheat minus sugar, this is 100. For D, it is 100. Now for E, this is 750, this is 500. So clearly you can see the difference is 250, right? So this is for E. So what we should do is, these are all the differences. So add all the differences and divide by the number of values, that is 5. So this will directly give us the average of differences. Okay, now so 250 plus 200, 450 plus 100, 550 plus 250, that is 800, or 250 plus 250, 500 plus 3, 800. So it is 800 divided by 5. Now 800 by 5 is 160. So the average of difference or difference of average is exactly going to be the same thing, and the answer is 160 kg, which is C option. Alright, or the other way, you could have calculated the average of entire wheat, average of entire sugar. That would take more time. The differences will take less time and less calculation. Okay, so the answer is C, 160 kg. Now let's take up the next question. Now this one says the average amount of rice, wheat and sugar consumed by all the restaurants. Oh, right. So here you can't do much. You have to add all of them, right? So for example, for A, the entire sum will be 750 plus 600 plus 600. Add it carefully. It comes out to be 12 and 7, 1950. Similarly for B, it will be 600 plus 800 plus 550, right? So this total comes out to be 6 and 8, 14 for 9. This also is 1950. For C, it will be, let's see, it is 500 plus 550 plus 350, right? This one is 350. Okay, then this total will come out to be 5 and 5, 10 and 13, 1400. For restaurant D, carefully if you see, it is 700 plus 600 plus 500. All right, so this total comes out to be 1800. For E, it is going to be, let's see, it is 650 plus 750 plus 500. Okay, so 6 and 7, 13 and 14, and for 1900. Now if you add all of them, then this becomes 0, 0, 0, 5 plus 5, 10, so another 0, then 9 and 9, 18, and 4, 22, and 8, 30 and 9, 39, 40, so 0, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so it is 9000. Perfect. So this total is the total sum of all the things together. Okay, so that means the required average required will be equal to total 9000 divided by 5 restaurant. So 9000 by 5, which is equal to 1800 kg, right? So the required answer to this question is 1800 kg, which is C option. All right, now let's take up the next one. The next one, fifth question says sugar consumed by restaurant D, so we are talking about D, is approximately what percent of rice and wheat consumed by the same restaurant. All right, so we have to find the percentage that we have to find is D sugar divided by D rice and wheat. So rice plus wheat into 100. Now what is D sugar? If you see, D sugar is this one, that is 500. All right, divided by D rice. Now how much is D rice? It is 700. Okay, and D wheat is this one, this is 600. All right, this is equal to into 100. So it is 500 divided by 7 plus 6, 1300 into 100. All right, so 0, 0 cancel. Now 5 by 13. So we know that 1 by 13 is approximately 7.7%. All right, so 5 by 13 will be 5 into 7 by 0.7% approximately. 7 5s are 35 and 35. So 38.5%. So if you look at the option, I don't see there is any confusion. The correct answer should be 38%, that is B option, because anyways you have to find approximate answer. Okay, now let's take up the next data. Now the next set of data, as you can see, this is a pie chart, right? It says circle graph given here shows the spending of a country on various sports during a particular year. Study the graph carefully and answer the questions given below it. Now, so here it says whatever expenditure they do, sports during the particular all right, whatever spending they have. So cricket is 81 degrees. So here everything is given in degrees, right? If necessary, you can always find in percentages. For that, you need to know that 360 degree is equal to 100%, right? So what you can do is 1% is equal to 3.6 degree. You can directly apply that. 1% is equal to 3.6 degree, or 1 degree is equal to 1 upon 3.6%. You can straight away apply that. So for example, if I randomly take any one, let's say basketball. If I have to find basketball percentage, that will be equal to 1 degree is 1 by 3.6%. So 50 degree will be 50 into 1 by 3.6%, right? So that is equal to 500 by 36. This is just to explain percent. All right. So if we simplify this, this will come out to be 500. So if you divide by 4, it will be 125 by 9%. Simplify it is approximately equal to 14%, right? For that matter, you can do any other. Let's say golf. Now golf is directly, it's very easy to understand. We have 360 degrees equal to 100%. Now golf is equal to, in this case, 36 degrees. So 36 degrees straight away 10%. Right? So if necessary, you can do all these calculations. Okay. Now that we have understood the data, let's take up some questions now. So as we discussed conversion into percentages, the first question, that is sixth one, what percent of total spending is spent on tennis? Find tennis. Tennis is this 45 degree, right? So we know that 360 degree is equal to 100%. All right. So tennis, in this case, it is 45 degree. So 45 degree will be equal to 100 by 360 into 45. This much percentage. This is simple unitary method calculation. If 360 is 100%, then 45 will be how much? Right. Now, if you see 45 cancels 360 8 times, 100 by 8 is 12.5. So straight away 12.5% is the answer. I think we must have done in percentages. 1 by 8 is straight away 12.5%. Okay. 3 by 8 is straight away 37.5%, and 5 by 8 is straight away 62.5%. Right. So if you remember these calculations, this will help you to increase your speed. So if you look at the options here, in the first option we have 12.5%. That is the correct answer. Okay, now let's take up the next one. Now this says how much percentage more is spent on hockey than golf. If you remember percentage difference, when we calculate, we say the difference divided by the initial. All right, initial or the base. Okay, into 100. Now what is initial or base? The one that comes after the proposition, like on. So in this case, what we have to find is, we have to find on golf and hockey. What is hockey here? Hockey is 63 degree and golf is 36 degree. So you don't need any other data. Just with the help of 63 and 36, you can calculate it. How? Let's see. The difference will be hockey is more. So hockey minus golf divided by the base is golf, because it is on golf, into 100. Just use the values directly, the degree values directly. That will give us the answer. Right? So hockey is 63 degree, golf is 36 degree, divide by golf 36 degree into 100, and this much percentage. Alright, now 63 minus 36 is 27 by 36 into 100. Now 27 and 36 both are divisible by 9. So 9 3s are and 9 4s are. 4 cancels 125 times. So 25 into 3, that is equal to 75%. Okay, so the answer to this question is 75%. If you look at the options, D option is the correct answer. So this was a direct, beautiful question. Here already the spending is given in terms of degrees. We can use that directly. Okay, now the next question. Now this one, it says if the total amount spent on sports during the year be 1 crore 80 lakh, the amount spent on basketball exceeds on tennis, right? So what do we want to find? We want to find basketball minus tennis straight away. Basketball minus tennis, nothing else has to be thought about. Now basketball in terms of degrees, in terms of angle, it is given 50 degree, and tennis in terms of angle, it is 45 degree. What do we need to do? Please understand the total angle is 360 degree and the total expenditure is 1 crore 80 lakh. So we say that 360 degree is equivalent to or equal to 1 crore 80 lakh rupees, right? Now, what is the direct difference in terms of angle between basketball and tennis? So angle difference between basketball and tennis, is equal to 50 degree minus 45 degree, which is equal to 5 degree. We already have 360 degree equivalence. So 5 degree will be equal to cross multiplication method. It is 5 into 1 crore 80 lakh, okay, divide by 360. As simple as that, right? Now 18 cancels 1 crore 80 lakh. Let's see how many times. So 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. That is 3, 4, 5, 6. That is, you can see it is 10 lakh times. And 18 cancels 360 20 times. 0 again cancels. So this becomes 1 lakh. 2 cancels 1 lakh 50,000 times. Right? So the final answer that we have is 50,000 into 5. 50,000 into, this is 50,000. Okay. It is 50,000 into 5, that will be equal to 250,000. Okay. So the answer to this question is 250,000. That is the difference between basketball and tennis. Look at the options. I think the first option A is the correct answer. Alright. Now let's take up the next question. The last one of this. This again is a direct question. It says how much percentage less is spent on football than on cricket? Right. So than on cricket, right? So what we do is I think it is the similar to the previous ones. Directly the percentage difference will be equal to than on cricket. That means cricket will come in denominator, and less, that means the difference will come in numerator, difference of cricket and football, right? And you can directly use the angles as we have done in the previous question also, right? Now cricket is how much? If you see, cricket is 81 degree, right? Minus football is, where is football? It is 54 degrees. So minus 54 divided by cricket is 81 into 100, this much percentage. Now 81 minus 54 is 27, divide by 81 into 100. Now 27 cancels 81 3 times. So 1 by 3, clearly it is 33, 1 by 3%. Alright. So answer to this question, if you look at the options, it is C option, 33, 1 by 3%. Alright. So this was a good set of data, and this is called pie chart, which is always very easy to solve. Okay, now let's take up this next set of data. Now the next set of data, it says the following time graph gives the ratio of the amounts of import by a company to the amount of export by the company over a period from 95 to 2000. So for every year, import is to export, that is given. So for example, in 1997, the import to export ratio, look at the graph, 1997, it is 0.35, right? So it's very clear that import was less in 1997. Say for example, randomly if I take 1999, what happens in 99? You see, import is to export ratio is 1.4. So in 1999, import is higher. Wherever this ratio is equal to 1, import and export will be equal. Wherever the ratio is more than 1, import will be more than export. Wherever this ratio is less than 1, import will be less than export, right? So now that we have understood, let's take up the questions on this. Now this one, it says, 10th question, if the imports in 98 were 250 crores and the total exports in year 98 and 99 together was 500 crores, then the import in 99 was. So first let's talk about 98. In 98, it is given that import of 98 is equal to 250 crores. Alright. Now, in 98, the ratio of import and export, 98, ratio of import export is 1.25. Alright. So, import of 98 is to export of 98. This is equal to 1.25. Now, 1.25 is actually 125 upon 100, which is actually 5 by 4. Here, the import value is known, 250 crores. So, 250 divided by export of 98 is equal to 5 by 4. A simple calculation will give us that 5 cancels 250 50 times. So export of 98 is equal to 50 into 4, that is 200 crores. Right? So we have the export of 98. Also it is given that the total exports of 98 and 99 together is 500 crores. Okay. So export of, now we talk about 99. Export of 99 will be equal to 500, which is the total sum of 98 and 99 exports, minus export of 98, that is 200. So this gives us 300 crores, right? Now see, in 1999, the ratio of import export is 1.4. So import of 99 upon export of 99, that is given 1.4, right? So we have to calculate import in 99. So from here, very clearly, import of 99 is equal to 1.4 into export of 99. And export of 99, we have calculated 300. So it is 1.4 into 300. 14 threes are 42. So it is 420 rupees crores, right? So the answer of the question, if you look at the options, it is the D option that is the correct one. Okay, now the next one. This question says the imports were minimum proportionate to the exports of the company in the year. We only have to find the proportionate. So basically what we have to find is import upon export, which is already given in the graph. So in the just graph, look at which year is the lowest, right? The question is the minimum, right? So minimum proportionate. So minimum value of this ratio. Minimum value of this ratio is in which year? Okay, so if you look at the graph, you can clearly see that 0.65, 0.85, 0.35, 1.25, 1.4, 1.55, 0.95. The lowest is 0.35, which is 1997. So clearly, just by looking at the graph, you can see that the answer is 1997. If the question was which year has the minimum value, then answer will be cannot be determined. Alright, because here the question is asking ratio, the graph is given of ratios only. Right, so we can directly answer this question. Okay, now let's take up the next one. Now this 12th question says, what is the percentage increase in the imports from 97 to 98? Now what do we have to find? The percentage increase in this case will be equal to final minus initial upon initial into 100. Right? That means we need the import value of 90 from 97 to 98. So from 97, so base will be import of 97 and in numerator will be import of 98 minus import of 97 into 100. Right? Now but in this question only ratios are given. Right? It is only ratios only given. Values are not given. Values are not given. Whereas in this question, we have to find the value difference and divide by a value. Okay. So answer is data inadequate. That is D option. We cannot determine. We can't determine the answer of this question. Okay. Be careful. Anything that is related to value in this question, it has to be given. Like in the first question, it was given that one of them was 250 crores. Okay. So we could do. If the value is not given, we cannot do anything in this. So answer is data inadequate. Okay, let's take up the next one. Like in this question, a value is given. Let's see. The imports of the company in 96 was 272 crores. The exports from the company in 96 was. Very clear question. Right. So here one value is given. We have to find the other value. We know that in 96, import of 96 is to export of 96 ratio. We can get from the graph. In 96, the ratio is 0.85. Right. Now one of them is given. Which one is given? Import is given. We have to find export. So from here you can see that import is 272 divided by export of 96 is equal to 0.85. Now 0.85 can be written as 85 upon 100. Alright. So 5 cancels 85 17 times, 100 20 times. And then 17 cancels 272 16 times. So clearly by cross multiplication you can see exports of 96 will be 16 into 20. 16 into 20 is 320 crores. Alright, so the answer of the question is 320 crores. Because the values were given, we could find the answer and that is B option. Okay, now the next one. Now this one, the last one of this set, it says in how many of the given years were the export more than the import? Here the ratio given is for import is to export. Understand this, right? So if the ratio is more than 1, if import upon export is more than 1, that means import would be more than export. Similarly, if import upon export is less than 1, that would mean import is less than export. What is the question asking? Question is asking export more than import. That means import less than export. This one. So we have to find a situation where the ratio is less than 1. Look at the situation. The ratio less than 1 is 1995. 1996 also, 1997 also, but 1998 is more than 1, so this will not be taken. 1999 is also more than 1, so this will not be taken. In 2000 ratio is 0.95, that is less than 1, so this also has to be taken. 2001 it is 1.55, right, so not to be taken. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 years was the situation where import was less than export, that is export more than imports, right? So if you look at the options, D option is the correct answer and the years are 95, 96, 97 and 2000. All right. So now let's take up the next set of data. Now the next set is based on the table form, right? The tabular form of data. Let's say what is the question saying? Study the following table, answer the questions based on it, right? Here the top note, that is head note, expenditures of a company in lakh rupees per annum over the given years. Item of expenditure, so there are different things like salary, fuel and transport, bonus, interest on loans, taxes, all the values are in lakh rupees, right? and the years are 98, 99, 2000, 2001 and 2002. So for example, if you see the salary expenditure in 98 is 288 lakh. Say for example, interest on loans in 2001 is 36.4 lakh, right? Taxes in 2000 is 74 lakh, right? Fuel and transport expenditure, okay, in 2002 is 142 lakh. So this is how you can identify the values from the table given. Let's take up the questions now. Now the first question of this data, it says what is the average amount of interest per year which the company had to pay during this period? So average interest per year, what do we need to do? Add all the interests and divide by number of years. Now what are the interests? Interests are, if you see, these are the interests. In fact, interest and loans should be said. Interest on, no, it's fine, interest on loans. Okay, so interest, add all of them. So simple addition. Add carefully. 4 plus 5, 9 plus 6, 15 plus 4, 19 plus 4, 23. 3 here, 2 carry. 3 plus 2, 5 plus 2, 7, 8, 14 and 9, 23. So 3 here, 3 here, 2 carry. Alright, now 2 and 2, 4 and 3, 7 and 4, 11 and 3, 14 and 4, 18. Right? So this is 18 here. So 183.3. Okay. So the total sum is 183.3 and divide by number of years 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? And this is the average interest paid. Okay. Now divide carefully. 180 divided by 5 is 36. Okay. So 36 and by 3, 3. So it is 36.66 lakh. Alright. This is the answer of the question. So look at the options. I think it is the D option. It is the correct answer. Okay. Now the next one. This question says the total amount of bonus paid by the company during the given period is approximately what percentage of the total amount of salary paid during the period. Okay. So what do we have to do is total as bonus. So total bonus, okay, divide by total salary into 100. This is what we have to find. Now total bonus, add all of them simply. So if you add carefully, 2 plus 4, 6 plus 8, 14 plus 6, 20. So 0. 2 plus 4, 6 and 8, 14 and 6, 20, 0. 2 and 5, 7 and 8, 15 and 6, 21 and 9, 30, 0. 3 and 3, 6 and 2, 8 and 3, 11 and 3, 14 and 3, 17. So it is 17.00 lakhs. So total bonus is 17, divide by total salary, add here. So 8 plus 2, 10 plus 4, 14 plus 6, 20. So 0. 2 and 8, 10 plus 4, 14 and 2, 16 and 3, 19 and 2, 21. Right? And then 2 and 2, 4, 3, 7 and 3, 10 and 3, 13 and 4, 17. So it is 1710. So 17 upon 1710 into 100. I think it is very simple to see that it is 170 upon 171, which is very close to 1. So it is approximately 1% only. Look at the options. I think there is no confusion. It is the C option that is the correct answer. Alright, now let's take up the next question. The next one says total expenditure on all these items in 98 was approximately what percentage of the total expenditure in 2002. Now it is year wise, right? As approximately what percentage of. So what we have to do is total of 98 divided by total of 2002 into 100. This is what we have to calculate. So total of 98 will be this total sum, right? Add carefully. So 0.4 will come here first. Then we have 3 plus 3, 6 and 3, 9 and 8, 17 and 8, 25. Right? I repeat, 4 will come there, and then 3 and 3, 6 and 3, 9 and 8, 17 and 8, 25. So 5, 2 carry forward. 2 plus 8, 10. 10 plus 2, 12. 12 plus 9, 21. 21 plus 28, 49. So it is 495.4 lakh. And then 2002, this was 98, and then 2002 is this one. Add all of these. So 0.96 and 4. So first it is 6. Then 9 and 4, 13. Right? So this was 495.40. Now this is 0.36. Then we have 1 carry forward. 1 plus 8, 9. Plus 9, 18. 18 plus 3, 21. 21 plus 2, 23. And 0. So 23. 3 here. 2 carry forward. 2 and 9, 11. 11 and 4, 15. 15 and 4, 19. 19 and 2, 21. So 1 here. Okay. And 2 plus 1, 3 plus 4, 7. So it is 713.36. So what we have here is 495.4 divided by 713.36 into 100, and this much percentage should be the answer. Now we will have to use a little bit of approximation. How do we go about it? Let's see. what we can do here is we can take this as 495 divided by 713.36. Let's take it as 715 and let's see how far it goes. If you divide by 5, 795 becomes 495 divided by 5, it would become 99, and 715 divided by 5, it will become 9 6 is 71. No, 1 second. We have to divide by 5. So 5 divided 71, so it is 1, then 4, and then 3. 143. Now 11 cancels 99 9 times and 11 cancels 143 13 times. Perfect. So it is 9 by 13 into 100, and we know that 1 by 13 is approximately equal to 7.7%. Okay, so if you look at the options, 9 by 13 will be 9 into 7.7%. 9 sevens are 63 plus 6.3, that is 69.3%. Right? So in spite of approximation, we get our answer very close, and that is C option. This is the correct answer. Just make sure that you don't use approximation very high. Like just for example, for 713 we have taken 715. This is not a very big approximation. This is almost negligible. 495.4 we have excluded 0.4. Nothing to worry, right? But you can't take 495 as 480. That would be a little difficult to handle. Okay. Now let's take up the next question. Now this one, the 18th question said the total expenditure of the company over these items during the year 2000. So we have a simple addition of all the values of 2000, right? So simply add them. So 0.8, 4 and 6. So 4, 8 and 6, 14. 1 carry forward. 1 and 4, 5 and 1, 6 and 3, 9 and 1, 10 and 4, 14. Again 1 carry. 1 and 7, 8. 8 and 4, 12. 12 and 0. 12 and 2, 14. So 4 here, 1 carry. 1 and 1, 2 and 3, 5. So it is 544.44 lakh. So if you look at the options, it is A option that is the correct answer. Nothing much, nothing great about this question. Okay, now let's take up the last one of this set. Now the last one of this set, it says the ratio between the total expenditure and taxes for all the years and the total expenditure on fuel and transport for all the years respectively is approximately. Alright, so we have to find the total expenditure on taxes. So total of taxes divided by total of fuel and transport. Right, so look at the data. Now total of taxes is here. Add all of them carefully. 3 plus 8, 11 plus 4, 15 plus 8, 23 plus 8. 23 plus 8 is 31. So 1, 3 carry forward. 8 and 3, 11 plus 7, 18 and 8, 26. 26 and 9, 35. So 5, 3 and 1, 4. So it is 451. Okay. Now divide by fuel and transport is this one. So add all of these. 8 and 2, 10 and 1, 11 and 3, 14 and 2, 16. Alright. 1 carry forward. 9, 1, 10, 11. 11 and 3, 13. 11 and 3, 14. 14 and 4, 18. So 8 here. Alright. Now 1 carry forward. 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is 586. So 451 actually. This is 451. Okay. And divide by 586. Okay. Now let's see whatever you can simplify by. It is 451 divided by 586. If you look at the options, first check if it can be divided by anything. I don't see there is anything that can divide. Okay, it is 360, 390. No, it is not divisible by 13. None of them is divisible by 3. Okay, so what should we do now? Let's do one thing. Let's take up some approximation. Instead of 451, let's take it as 450. And 586, let's take it as 585. Alright, now let's see if they're divisible. Now 450 is divisible by 9. 585 is also divisible by 9. Perfect. So divide by 9, it will get 50. And divide by 9 here also, you will get 9 6 are 54 and 9 5s are. Perfect. And again they're divisible by 5. So divide by 5, it gives us 10 and 13. Perfect. Fantastic. So 10 is to 13 is the closest possible value. Right. So if you look at the options, it is B option that is the correct answer. Okay. Now let's take up the next set of data. Now this next set of data is actually not a data interpretation question. It is called data sufficiency. Alright. Now in data sufficiency, what we have to do is we have to check whether the given data is sufficient to answer a given question or not. Right. And the way it is sufficient, we have to mark the answer. For example, if the question can be answered using one statement alone, while statement 2 is not sufficient, we'll have to mark A. Similarly, B means question can be answered using statement 2. That means only statement 2 is capable of answering the question, whereas statement 1 is not. Right? In that case, answer will be B. Similarly, if both the statements together are needed, please understand together needed. Right? So answer the question. In that case, C will be the answer. Remember, this needed is very important. Okay. If the question can be answered using each of the statements independently. So A alone, or let's say first statement alone is sufficient, second statement alone is sufficient, both are individually sufficient, separately, independently, then the answer would be D option. And if the question cannot be answered in spite of taking them together, then answer will be E option. In data sufficiency, the definition of these options is really important to remember, right? So please spend some time on this, repeat, read it carefully again and again on your screen, and then we take up some questions on this. Okay. Now this first question, it says how long will it take for two pipes A and B to fill an empty cistern if they worked alternately for 1 hour each? Alright. Now look at the statements. It says working alone, pipe A can fill the cistern in 40 hours. This statement will not be sufficient because there is no information on B. No info on B. So this means first statement not sufficient. First statement is not sufficient to answer the question. Similarly, see, the process is first to check all the statements individually. Like we have checked the first statement. Now, while checking the first statement, do not look at the second statement. I repeat, while checking one of the statements, do not look at the other statement. Okay, check them independently. So the first statement not sufficient. Now, similarly, while checking second statement, do not look at the first statement. Okay, first you have to check independently. Now, the second statement says pipe B is 1/3 as efficient as pipe A. So independently, this gives no information about any one of them. No information about any one of them. Okay. So at least we know now that independently they cannot solve the question. Now let's combine them. Let's take them together. So working alone, pipe A can fill it in 40 hours, right? And pipe B is 1/3 as efficient as pipe A. That means B alone will take 120 hours because it is 1/3 efficient. So the time taken will be 120 hours. Right. Now let's look at this. Now try to solve the question on the basis of this data. They worked alternately for 1 hour each. Right. So let's see if it is possible to be solved or not. For that we'll have to solve. Okay. So solve properly. Let's assume that the total work, we have done it in time and work also. Total work is LCM of times. LCM of 40 and 120. Now what is LCM of 40 and 120? It is 120, let's say liters. So speed of A will be 120 by 40. That is 3 liters per hour. And similarly, speed of B will be 120 by 120, which is equal to 1 liter per hour. Now they're working on alternate hours. That means if 1 hour A works, the other hour B has to work, or vice versa. But in any case, in 2 hours, what is the quantity of water that they'll be able to fill? 3 liter plus 1 liter, that is 4 liter. So every 2 hours, they will be able to fill 4 liters, right? And here the total work is 120, which is a direct multiple of 4 liter. See, when 120 is directly, this total work is direct multiple of this net work, we don't need to know what is the order. Okay, so we can directly do this. Now 4 is how many times 120 is how many times 4? It is 30 times. So multiply by 30. So into 30, that is equal to 60 hours. Right? All right. So that means the tank can be filled in 60 hours working alternate without knowing the order. Okay. See, understand, if this 120 was not a multiple of this 4, then we would say that data is insufficient because we need the order also. Here order is not required. It is not given and it is not required also. In spite of that, in spite of the fact that it is not given, we can find that the tank is filled in 60 hours, and that means that we have used both the statements together. So answer of our question number 20 will be C option, where we say that both statements needed. All right. So be very careful. Here both the statements together are sufficient to answer the question. So answer is C option. Okay. Both the statements needed to answer the question. All right. Now let's take up the next question. Now this question says, what is the value of X if X and Y are two distinct integers and the product is 30? All right. So first of all, whatever is the question given, identify or clarify properly. So there are two integers X and not equal to Y. It is also given that X into Y is equal to 30. From here only we can get multiple possibilities. The possibilities are 1 into 30, 2 into 15, 3 into 10, or 5 into 6, or reverse also, 6 into 5, 10 into 3, because in all the cases the values of X are different, values of Y are also different, 15 into 2 and 30 into 1. So these are all possibilities only from the question. We haven't got into the statements. Now look at the first statement. If I take the first statement, X is an integer. Don't look at the second statement. Only to look at the first statement. X is an integer, an odd integer. Now X is an odd integer in first case, in this one, this 3, this 5 and this 15. So there are 4 cases. That means the first statement alone is not sufficient to answer what is the value of x, because there are multiple possibilities. All right. Now, let's take up the second statement alone. X greater than y. Now, x greater than y is here in 6 into 5, 10 into 3, 15 into 2, and 30 into 1. So, from second statement alone, also it is not possible to find the unique value of x. Remember, you have to find the unique and definite answer. Right? Possibilities will not be a good situation. You have to get a unique and a definite answer for the question statement. The question statement is the value of x. We are not getting the value of x even from the second statement alone. Now let's do one thing. Let's combine these two statements. Let's take them together. Okay. So x is an odd integer, that is 1, 3, 5 and 15. And x greater than y is only one case, that is 15 and 2. Right? So from together we get a unique value of x that is equal to 15. Hence the answer will be C option. Answer of question 21 is C option, because both together are needed. Right? None of them was alone sufficient to answer the question. Okay. So just be careful how you are getting the answer, that is more important. Which statement is capable of giving the answer, that is more important. So answer of the question is C option. Okay. Now the next one. This question says a car drives along a straight road from Sankaran Koil to Coimbatore, going through Madurai along the way. What is the total distance traveled by the car from Sankaran Koil to Coimbatore? So it is Sankaran Koil to Madurai along the way and then Coimbatore. Alright, so this is the data given in the question itself. Now look at the first statement. First statement alone. The distance from Sankaran Koil to Madurai is 3 by 5 of the entire distance. So it says, statement 1 says that first part of the distance is 3 by 5. That means the second part of the distance will be 2 by 5. That's it. There is nothing else that we get from here. Do we get a value from here? No. So first statement is not sufficient. Again, look at the second statement alone. The distance from Madurai to Coimbatore is 12 kilometers. So Madurai to Coimbatore is 12 kilometers. Perfect. But does it give any information about the first one? First part of the distance? No. No information about this. So second alone also is not sufficient. Okay. Second alone statement does not give anything about the distance between Sankaran Koil and Madurai. That means second statement alone is also not sufficient. Now let's take them together. If you take them together, then what happens? Then we get S to M to C. The distance from Madurai to Coimbatore, that is 12 kilometers. And the distance from Sankaran Koil to Madurai, that is 3 by 5 fraction. So the remaining part will be 2 by 5 fraction. 1 minus 3 by 5 is 2 by 5. Right, so 2 by 5 fraction is equal to 12 kilometers. So one fraction will be equal to 5, 12, 60 by 2, that is 30 kilometers. Right, we need to find the total distance, that is 30 kilometers is the total distance. Right, so we can also calculate 3 by 5, that will be 18 kilometers. So in any case, by combining both, we get the answer as 30 kilometers distance between Sankaran Koil and Coimbatore. That means answer of the question number 22 is C option. Why? Because we needed both options together. So both needed, hence the answer is C option. Alright, now let's take up the next question. Now this 23rd question, it says, is M divisible by 6? First, let me put it this way. When you ask such a question, what are the possible answers? The possible answers are either yes or no. Okay. What you have to understand here is that you have to identify the unique answer. It cannot be both ways. It has to be only one of these possibilities. Now look at this question. It says, is M divisible by 6? Now for a number to be divisible by 6, the number should be divisible by both 2 and 3. Right? This is everything, all this that we are talking till now, that we have talked till now, is based on the statement of the question itself. Now look at statement 1. Statement says that the number is divisible by 3. Now what are the numbers divisible by 3? The numbers divisible by 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Now what does it mean? This means these numbers may be divisible by 6, but may not be divisible by 6 also. So first statement alone is not sufficient to give us a definite answer yes or no. Okay, in some cases it is yes, like 6, 12, 18 it is yes. For 9, 15 it is no. Now look at the second statement. Remember, when you're looking at one of the statements, don't look at the other statements. First identify separately. Now only the second statement, look at this carefully. Statement 2 says that the values of M are divisible by 4 means 4, 8, 12, right, 16 and so on. Here if you see the number divisible, is it divisible by 6? In some cases yes, 12 it is divisible, but 4, 8, 16 it is not divisible. Right? Now that means statement 1 alone not sufficient, statement 2 alone not sufficient, right? Now let's combine both these statements. Now if you combine together, what is the meaning of this? Combine together will mean we take the number which is divisible by 3 as well as 4. Now the number that is divisible by both 3 and 4 has to be divisible by 12. Now the numbers divisible by 12 are 12, 24, 36 and so on. Now whatever these numbers are, definitely they are going to be divisible by 6. So in that case we can say a definite answer, that is yes. So answer of the question number 23 is C option, because we need both the statements together, both needed. Alright, both needed will be the answer of this question. Okay, now let's take up the next one. Now this is the next set of questions. Be careful here, there's a slight change in the definition. Option A is not changed, it is same. Statement 1 alone is sufficient, statement 2 is not sufficient. Option B is still the same as it was earlier, that is statement 2 alone sufficient, statement 1 not sufficient. Now here there is a difference. Earlier we had a different definition, here we have a different definition. It says C will be marked only when statement 1 alone is sufficient or statement 2 also alone is sufficient. So it was earlier it was D option, now it is C option, right? And earlier what was E option, now it is D option. Data in both the statements 1 and 2 are not sufficient to answer the question. And what we had earlier as C, now it is E. See, in question of data sufficiency, it is very important to understand the definition of options, right? It can be changed. Okay, here only in this exercise only we have changed here. For one set it was different, the other set it is different. Be very careful of reading this instruction before going to the questions. Okay, now let's take up these questions now on the basis of these new definitions. Now this question says, what is the area of the square? It says measure of diagonal of the square is 80 centimeters. All right, let's see. We know the square, the side is A. So area is A square. So we have to find A square value. Now statement 1. Statement 1 says measure of diagonal is 80 centimeter. Now diagonal is this. We also know that in square, diagonal D is equal to side root 2. Statement 1 gives diagonal equal to 80. That means side root 2, A root 2 is 80. So from here we can get A equal to 40 root 2. Right. So that means we can find A square from this. So it is 40 root 2 square, which is 1600 into 2. That is 3200. We may not need to find, but here, yes, we have just shown that it is possible. That means first statement alone is sufficient to answer the question. Please understand, first statement alone sufficient to answer the question. The question was, what is the area? We have calculated the area only from the first statement without looking at the second statement. Now look at the statement 2, right? Without looking at the first statement. Statement 2 without looking at the first statement, okay? Now the perimeter of the square is equal to the circumference of a circle, but this does not give any value, right? It only gives a relation between a square and circle. I repeat, do not look at the first statement when you are considering the second statement alone, okay? So no values. That means statement 2, no values. So statement 2 not sufficient, right? So what will be the answer in this question? Only statement 1 alone is sufficient. Statement 2 alone is not sufficient. So answer of the question 24 will be A option, right? You can go back in the video and check that A option said that only one statement, only first statement is sufficient, second statement is not sufficient. All right, let's take up the next one. Now this 25th question, it says, what is Radha's present salary? Okay, we need a value, a unique value. Okay, now first statement. Statement 1 says her salary increases every year by 15%, but no value is given. So first statement alone not sufficient. Please understand that it is not sufficient because no value is given. It is only a relation that is given, right? So if a value is given for any one of the year, we can find for the other years. But here no value is given, so not sufficient. What about statement 2? She joined the organization 7 years ago. This has nothing to do with the value at all, right? So second alone also is not sufficient. What if I combine both the statements together? Read it carefully. So 7 years ago she joined. 7 years ago she joined. Okay. And then after that every year 15% increase every year. Okay. But this situation also does not give us any value. So still no value. That means we cannot comment on the present salary of Radha. That means even after combining, no answer. So even together, no sufficient, not sufficient. What does it mean? Go back and check. It was option D. That was the correct answer. So answer of the question 25 will be option D. right? Even after combination, these things are not capable of giving the answer of this question. All right, you can go back in the video and check it. I'll show you again. Option D was if data in both the statements 1 and 2 are not sufficient to answer the question. All right. C was data in 1 or 2 alone sufficient to answer the question, and E was both statements together. Right. So here in this question 25, it was D option that was the correct answer. Now let's take up the next one. This question says, what is the rate of interest per annum? Percent per annum. Okay. The compound interest received on an amount of 1500 and the end of 2 years is 660. Right, the compound interest value. So let's take up the first statement. We need a value. Okay, we need a value, so we have to get a unique value. Statement 1, what does it say? It says compound interest value is equal to 660. And how do we calculate compound interest? The formula is A minus P, and the formula for A is it is P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power N minus P, that is 660. Here P is given, that is 1500. All right, and here it is given 2 years, N is given 2, so 1500 into 1 plus R by 100 to the power 2 minus P equal to, now P again is given, that is 1500, okay, and that is equal to 660. Right, so this is just one equation, one variable, so we will be able to find the answer. You don't have to find, I'm just saying that R will come out, a definite value of R will come out, and that is what we need. Definite R will come out from this because it is one variable, one equation. We don't have to solve, so I will not solve here, but I'm saying that we'll be able to find out the answer of this question, right? That means first statement alone is sufficient to answer the question. First statement alone is sufficient to answer the question. Perfect. Now, what about the second statement? Second statement says, statement 2, it says an amount doubles itself in 5 years with simple interest. Right, so simple interest, double situation, we already have a simple formula, that is R into T is equal to 100. All right, go back to the theory videos of simple interest, you can see it there. R into T is 100 for double, for simple interest, right? Here it's time is given 5 years, so R into 5 is 100. That means very clearly R is equal to 20%. So this also gives a unique answer. So first statement alone is sufficient. Second statement alone is also sufficient, right? So if you look at this, if you remember the options, the option for question number 26, option C will be the correct answer. Why option C? Because any one of them was alone sufficient to answer the question independently. All right. Now let's take up the next question. Now this one, 27 question, what is the total staff strength of organization? That means we need a number. So it has to be a unique number. Let's look at the first statement. Statement 1 says 75% of the staff is male, right? So 25% is female, but it still does not say anything about the value, right? So first statement not sufficient. Okay, let's look at the second statement. The ratio of female to male employees in the organization is 1:3. Statement 2. All right, it says ratio of female to male is 1:3. This again, this gives a relation but does not give value, so no value, right? So no value, that means not sufficient. Now even after combine, it will be the same information, right? But even after combination, they don't have any value. That means the answer to this question is data insufficient even after combine. So which option will you mark? Data insufficient. Remember, when none of them is sufficient, then it is option D, that is the correct answer. Even after combining, answer to question 27 will be option D. All right, now let's take up the next one. Now this question, it says what is the 2-digit number? Again, we need a definite value. What is the 2-digit number? It says the sum of 2 digits of the number is 5. Right, so statement 1 says if there is a number xy, the sum of digit, that is x plus y, that is equal to 5. So what are the possibilities? The possibilities are 5 0, 4 1, 3 2, 2 3, 1 4. 0 5 is not a 2-digit number, so we will not take it, right? So from the first statement itself, we have 1 2 3 4 5 possibilities. That means first statement alone is not sufficient because it gives us, it does not give us a unique value, right? Remember, we need to get a unique value. Right, now the second statement, look at the statement 2. What does it say? The number obtained by interchanging the 2 digits of the number is lesser than the original number by 9. Okay, so interchanging gives a lesser number. That means in the original situation, if there is a number xy, x has to be more than y, right? And the question says xy minus yx, number interchanged, is lesser than the original number by 9. So this is equal to 9, right? We also know that xy is actually 10x plus y, right? Minus yx will be 10y plus x, and that is equal to 9. So if you subtract, 10x minus x will be 9x minus 9y equal to 9. So 9 cancelled, we'll get x minus y, that is equal to 1, right? Now, if it is x minus y equal to 1, then there are multiple possibilities, right? It can be 98, it can be 87, it can be 76, and so on. So even this statement alone is not sufficient. Remember, first you have to check alone, right? So even this statement alone is not sufficient. Okay, so 76, 65, 54, 43, 32, 21, and 10. So even this statement is not sufficient to answer the question because there are multiple possibilities. Now let's take combine, right? Now what is the meaning of combine? Combine means x plus y equal to 5 and x minus y equal to 1 together. So if you consider them together, you will get a unique value of x as 3 and y as 2. That means, or you can check from the numbers also, 32 is the only number which is common to both. See, when you say combine together, that means the common answer. And there is only one common possibility, and that is 32. So here we are definitely getting an answer that is 32, right? So the answer of question 28, which option would you mark? Remember, it was option E. Why? Because option E said that both the statements together are needed to answer the question. Alone they were not sufficient. Alright, so answer this question is option E. Okay, now let's take a couple of more questions which are not on data sufficiency. Let's see. Now this question is based on the log properties. It says log of 3 minus x to the base 2 plus log of 1 minus x to the base 2, and that is equal to 2. If you remember, we have log of x into y to the base b is equal to log x to the base b plus log y to the base b. Condition is the base has to be the same. We will apply the same rule. This rule can be applied in both ways. So here it is plus sign. So what we can do is we can take and the same base 2 and 2. So we can combine them. So log to the base 2 and the numbers inside will get multiplied. So it is 3 minus x into 1 minus x, that is equal to 2. Alright, this is equal to 2. Okay, now there is another rule about log definition which says log of let's say n to the base b, if it is equal to x, it implies that n is equal to b to the power x. So when you remove log, what happens? This b goes to the other side and becomes power. Okay, so here in place of n, we have 3 minus x into 1 minus x. 3 minus x into 1 minus x. Base is 2 and the number here is 2. So it becomes this 2 to the power this 2. So it is 2 to the power 2, which is 4. Now open it. 3 minus x into 1 minus x will be 3 minus 3x minus x plus x square equal to 4. Now bring all of them on the same side. This becomes x square minus 4x plus 3 minus 4 is minus 1 equal to 0. Alright, so it is x square minus 4x minus 1 equal to 0. Alright. Now, as you can see, this equation cannot be factorized. It's a quadratic equation. So we'll apply the formula. What is the formula for quadratic equation solution? It is x equal to minus b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. Okay, so from here we get minus b. Now what is minus b? It is minus of minus 4, that is plus 4. Plus minus square root of b square. B square is 16. B square is 16, right? Minus 4 into a is 1 and c is minus 1. Divide by 2a, so 2 into 1. So this gives us 4 plus minus root of 16 plus 4 is 20. 20 is 2 root 5 divided by 2. So we get 2 plus minus root 5, right? 2 plus minus root 5. Okay, so that means if you see 2 plus minus root 5, now that means the possible answers are 2 plus root 5 and 2 minus root 5. Now 2 plus root 5, root 5 is approximately 2.23. Let's take it as 2.23. So 2 plus root 5 will be 2 plus 2.23, that is 4.23, and 2 minus root 5 will become minus 0.23. Now, what does it mean? Let's look at this. We have two values of x, that is 4.23 and minus 0.23. If you look at this, in log, the values cannot be negative. That means 3 minus x has to be positive. 1 minus x also has to be positive. That means both 1 and 3 have to be greater than x. That means x has to be less than 1, precisely. X has to be less than 1. Now here 4.23 is more than 1, so this cannot be the answer. Anything less than 1 is possible. So it is minus 0.23, that is the correct answer. Or 2 minus root 5 is the correct answer. So the correct answer of this question, I'll write it here. Correct answer is, which is not there in the option. Correct answer is 2 minus root 5. Alright. So this is the correct answer of the question. None of the options are correct answer here. Okay, now let's take one more question. Now this question again is based on log. It says, what is the value of log 27 to the base 32 into log 8 to the base 243? How do we go about it? Let's see. There is a rule which says log of a to the base b into log of b to the base c. It comes out to be log of b cancels off, right? And we'll get log of a to the base c. This is a very important rule, right? A number and a base, if they are common, they are eliminated, and multiplication of log becomes one single log. So what we do here is, let's write this as log of 27 to the base 32 into log of 8 to the base 243. For that, first thing that we need to do is, there's another rule that we have, log of a to the power x, right, and b to the power, base is b to the power y. What happens? Both this x and y power come out, and we have x upon y. X comes in numerator, y comes in denominator. So it becomes x by y log a to the base b. Look at this very carefully. Log of a to the power x to the base b to the power y. X and y powers come out, and the remaining thing will remain log of a to the base b. So here, first let's write 27 as 3 cube, 32 as 2 to the power 5 into, let's write 8 as 2 cube and 243 as 3 raised to the power 5. Right? With factorization, if you remember the powers of small powers, you can directly do them. Now the powers will come out. So from the first one, this 3 and this 5 will come out. So we have 3 by 5 log 3 to the base 2 into, from here again this 3 and this 5 will come out. So we will have 3 by 5 log 2 to the base 3. Now this 3 by 5 into 3 by 5 will get multiplied and becomes 9 by 25. And we have log of 3 to the base 2 into log of 2 to the base 3. Now fantastic. So suppose this 3 and this 3 get eliminated. What do we have? We have 9 by 25 into log 2 to the base 2. I am eliminating this 3 and this 3. Right? Now this log 2 to the base 2 is also 1. So it is eventually 9 by 25. In fact, after this step directly you can say that this is equal to 1. So the answer is 9 by 25. That's it. So if you look at the options, none of these is the correct answer. Alright, so this was a very simple direct question. Okay, now just extension of this rule is that if it is log of a to the base b into log of b to the base a, that comes out to be equal to 1. Alright, so directly we could have taken this equal to 1. So it is straight away 9 by 25 into 1. Okay, hence the answer is 9 by 25. Alright, so this is where we have completed the exercise MT33. If you have any problem, first you go through the theory video lectures and you can always get back to us. Okay, thank you so much. God bless you. Take care. Happy preparation.